Everyone, welcome to Perspectives from the Sky on this 21st day of October 2023. And joining me today, as always, will be Deborah Knighton Tallarico, and she'll be speaking second half of this show. So here we are right now, right smack dab in the middle of eclipse season, autumn eclipse season 2023. In fact, today we are exactly not halfway in the season, but we're right in between exactly. The last eclipse on the 14th, last Saturday, next eclipse, next Saturday. So we're right in the middle. Now, the actual eclipse season I deemed was like 29th of September this year. And then the very next Saturday, that was a Saturday too, very next Saturday, it was when Hamas attacked Russia. Russia. Oh my God, my mind's going everywhere around. It was when Hamas attacked Israel and the Israeli people. And that, you know what that's done? That's not only blown up that region, but blown up the world in a way too. Everybody's kind of focused on that place and on that war going on. And it's only just started. So many people dead from that. So many innocent people dead, both sides. There's no like, these are the good guys and these are the bad guys. If you've got that in your head, wipe it out. People are dying, innocent people on both sides. Hamas sure did that when it attacked Israel. But then Israel, in attacking Gaza, has not been real careful about civilians either. So there's a lot of innocent people that are dead. And that's why it's so important now what we do with our consciousness. Let me go a little further on this conversation. I've looked a lot at World War II, and next year there are so many connections to that war. To me, where we're at right now as a human family is it's like full circle on the 30s and 40s when we had the Depression and then the World War, and full circle around our Revolutionary War. So many aspects that are going on now. For instance, Pluto in Aquarius. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius was 1777 to 1797. And this is powerful right now. Pluto in Aquarius is going to last for 20 years. And it's going to bring on more fully the age of Aquarius as we clean out the old age. Now, my concern, and a lot of people's concern now, is this transition that we're in. You know, I've told you that I believe that the age of Aquarius began on winter solstice 2020. I still feel firmly that that's true. Jupiter was conjunct Saturn on the winter solstice at 0+ degrees of Aquarius. And to me, that was a message from the universe that, hey, it's time. It's age of Aquarius. But the transition time is not easy when ages shift. Remember, an age is approximately 2,160 years. So you don't get the first couple of years that it's, wonderful, everything is perfect. It's never in an age perfect anyway. But we're moving into an age that's the right movement for us as a human family, into a new chapter now, a new book is what we're all have been moving into. But there's a lot to clean out on our consciousness, on our old paradigm. And so in 2024, like I said, there's all of these aspects that are so similar to 1941 when the United States got in the war, and aspects that are similar to what was there when the Depression happened in the 30s. Does that mean that we're moving into a depression and a world war? It's quite possible. But I think this is like a real turning point for our human family? Can there be enough people, enough consciousness that has evolved into a new way of being? No longer us versus them. No longer I'm the good guy and you're the enemy. You're the bad guy enemy. You're the demon enemy, is what often happens. We have to end that. It's not just a mere coincidence that we have nuclear weapons now. It's like the universe is saying, hey, look, if you keep going with this way of being, this is what's going to happen to you. So we need to wake up now as a human family. And the more each one of us can get into that peaceful place inside, and by peaceful, I don't mean like passive. I mean peaceful, let's be peaceful. Let's put some energy into it. But it's not just about peace. It's more about like the yin yang symbol that I probably preach about too much. But it's like opposites, dark and light, male and female, yin and yang, opposites that come together in unity. Don't give up their differences. Differences stay. But within the difference, there's a coming together. Within the differences, there's a coming together. Let me say hi to Judy Ann, hi to Tameshka, Christine. Hi, all of you. It's really good to see you're here. Yes, Tameshka, Palestinians had their rights stolen, their land, their house. That is very true. But how Hamas did it was pretty brutal and insensitive to innocent people. So they're not all the good guys. Palestinians, I agree with you 120%. The Palestinians are people who've been oppressed on land that arguably is as much theirs as Israel's. If you go back thousands of years, they both have lived there forever. So the problem is that, Israel's had the power and it's oppressed the Palestinians over the last several years. But nevertheless, innocent people, that's horrible when that's done to people. You know that. And babies too, yeah. But Israel has been brutal toward the Palestinians over the last several years. Totally brutal. The settlers have gone into land and taken over the land that was Palestinian land. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on that. What I do want to say is, I believe, again, we have to get rid of I'm the good guy and you're the enemy. And we have to move into I have my beliefs and you have your beliefs. And we need to work together. We need to work together, like the yin yang symbol. That's really what I believe we need to do. Right now, Israel is a prime example of how difficult that is. There's so much hatred right now on both sides, so much rage. Understandably, but at the same time, people have to get to a place of saying, let's get together, let's work this out. Let me listen to what your needs are and what your opinions are. And please listen to what my needs and my opinions are. Here's another thing that makes it so important. As we've been changing ages, look at the Middle East, specifically look at Israel, Jerusalem, and you'll realize that the early civilizations, many of them, began in that region of the world. Also realize that the major religions of the world began in that region. Muslim, Israel, Jewish, and Christianity. all began in that region. That makes that region a place that we say, wow, no wonder things are busting up there. Because that's the part of the world that we began so many civilizations and religions. And as we reach this moment in time as a human family, we need to move beyond the old paradigms that religions have too, and the old civilizations, the way they were at the times they were the way they were, it was right. You know, the Pisces age began around the time, in 100 years or so, of the birth of Christ. In a few hundred years later, Muhammad came on the scene, like in the 600s. And so, two most populated religions on the earth have become the Christian and the Muslim faiths. By a long shot, there's nothing even close when it comes to population. We need to transform our spiritual perspectives. So it's no longer about guilt. It's no longer about my religion's the one. It's about ways of finding unity amongst peoples all over the earth. How could anything be more spiritual than the realization of the unity of all, that we're all part of the same human family? And just like a lot of you, a lot of us have had, dysfunctional families that we've had to work our way through. And some people have actually left their families pretty much because they couldn't get along with them the way they wanted to. But this family we've got as a human family, we really do need to come together now. And I see, Christine, you mentioned Buddhism, and yeah, I like Buddha. I love Buddhism too, but that it's a patriarchal religion too. Women, I don't think for the most part, don't hold very prominent places within Buddhism. It's pretty much a male-dominated religion also. But yeah, I think it's closer to what we're moving into than the other religions, most likely. But the point isn't that one religion is bad or good. The point is that it's a time for new spirituality, time for spirituality that concentrates on the unity of all one. We need to get there. Look at the world right now. It's gonna get worse. Like I told you, 2024, things are gonna boil up much more intensely than they're boiling up now. Right now I've been working with a lot of people, different clients that I have, and everybody almost that I've been working with and talking to is in some kind of crisis. And if not in crisis, at least like just a lot of intensity. Yeah, the goddesses, that's a good, I like that. That might be a little bit closer to finding unity. Deborah will touch on that today too. So yeah, we need to do something with our consciousness as a human family now. And a lot of you have, I know that. You've gotten to a place inside where you're bringing the opposites together and you're not demonizing people that disagree with you. And you don't have an us versus them way of looking at life. We need a lot more people to feel that way and to think that way. I mean, look out there. It's so easy to pick sides. And a lot of times we pick sides based on, well, if you look out at the leaders in the world and the countries out in the world, lot's got to do with money and power. They'll talk about it something else, but ultimately it's about money and power. And the corporations run the politicians. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's like obvious that that's happening. So remember I said there's a link to the revolution too in all this, not just to the Second World War and the Depression, but the link to the revolution. The revolution was about no more kings and queens, no more people that are ruling the human family. No more dictators, no more autocrats. We the people, of the people, by the people, for the people. That was the values of the revolution that started not only in America, but in France too, during those 1770s to 1790s. That's what the value was. That's what people were fighting for. And so that will continue. It may not look like it right now, but that will continue. Like, as Christine says, the common people, yes, it's about we the people in both of those revolutions. This world does not belong to the wealthy. This world should not belong to the powerful and the wealthy. Does that make any sense to you? I mean, that's the way it is. So people just go, oh, yeah, that's the way it is. No, that's not the way it ought to be. Come on. And that's not the way it's going to be. It's changing at a very deep level. The fear is, what do we have to go through to get there? The more people wake up, especially in the leadership places, the more people wake up, the less painful this transition is going to be. But if people want to hold on to the old way of thinking of us versus them, for instance, it's going to be bloody. We need to move beyond that, and each one of us has to move beyond it. So we don't want to demonize anybody or anything. Okay, so what does it look like right now as we look out in the world, planetarily speaking? So we had the first eclipse on the 14th. We got the second eclipse on the 28th. That second eclipse will be at approximately 5 plus degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. Why did I say Taurus and Scorpio? Because it's a full moon. All lunar eclipses are full moons. And in all full moons, the sun and moon are opposite each other. So the sun will be at 5, just a little over 5 degrees of Scorpio, and the moon will be just a little over 5 degrees of Taurus. And also on that same day, there's another important aspect that fits into that full moon, and that'll be Jupiter in Taurus, opposite Mars in Scorpio at about 11 degrees. So it's within that 5-degree fixed signs. So that'll be important. And I've been looking at all the charts of different countries and leaders, and there's a whole lot of countries and leaders that fit right in to that second eclipse. So, by the way, what I'm going to be doing now, not this moment, but as the weeks go on, I've always made predictions on who's going to be the next president and things like that. So I'm going to really get down to study now and let you know what that's going to be, who that's going to be, who I believe that's going to be. I predicted Trump back in 2016, over a year before the election. I predicted Obama over a year before the election. No one hardly even knew him at that time. Same with Trump. So astrology can really give us some real clarity around things like that. And I'm going to let you all know over the next couple of months who I believe from my studies is going to be the next president of the United States. So that'll be the second eclipse. Then, and I think this will be the end of the eclipse season, there'll be not an eclipse, but there'll be a new moon on the 13th of November. And that new moon will be in Scorpio. So even though I believe the eclipse season will have ended, the intensity that the eclipse season began will continue with that kind of a full moon. I'm sorry, new moon in Scorpio. And that new moon will definitely touch off a lot of countries' charts and leaders too. Joe Biden's chart will be lighting up at that new moon in Scorpio. United States chart will be triggered during that new moon in Scorpio. And that new moon in Scorpio will have Mars and Scorpio in it. So it'll be, and Uranus and Taurus in it, like really close within that new moon. So it's going to be a powerful new moon. Let's talk about your personal lives. Christine, please don't say Trump this time. I hope to God I don't say Trump this time. So yeah, so I'll do that over the next couple of months. But now let's take a look at what's coming up ahead of us in our personal lives. So I know a lot of people I've been talking to have really been having a rough time in their personal lives. And remember, the purpose of eclipses, I've been following eclipses many, many years now. Purpose of eclipses is to push forward out of stuck places. And sometimes, in order to get out of stuck places, a person has to go through a lot in order to get out of that stuck place, to truly move forward. So it's time during eclipse season to move your life forward. A lot of people have been getting some challenges around relationships during eclipse season. Does that mean that in order to get forward, you need to like move beyond that relationship? No, not necessarily. You do need to move beyond whatever patterns you're stuck in relationship. And if you can't move beyond the patterns, and they're horrible patterns, then maybe before too long, you will need to let go of the relationship. But most of the time, it's not that. Most of the time, it's just changing the relationship pattern to move things forward. Other people have been running into lots of troubles around their careers or around where do they live, thinking about where should I live next. So much is changing that it's easy to have that kind of viewpoint because it's like in the old chapter, this is the way life looked. And now people are taken out of that old chapter. Things are shaken up in the old chapter. And they're looking, what's my new chapter going to be like? And where will I live? Who will I be with? What kind of work will I be doing? I remember back in the 70s when there was lots of transformation. People were shaking up around their relationships, around their jobs, around where they lived a lot. And a lot of people moved. And a lot of people changed relationships. And a lot of people changed careers and jobs. And people are in that same place again. Life is changing so quickly. And our consciousness is evolving to a place where whatever seemed normal before does not seem normal now. The only big issue that people have recently, the biggest issue they have is, yeah, I know I have to change things, but I don't know where to go next. I don't know where to live, even though it doesn't feel right to live here. I don't know what kind of career to do that I can actually make a good buck on still. How can I leave my old job when my old job is paying my bills? This is why trust has to come in too. You don't have to figure it all out at once. You got to kind of trust that things will move the way you need them to move. And by the way you need them to move, I don't mean your ego needs. What I mean is the right place for you will show itself as long as you're putting yourself out there. What to do with the relationship will show itself to you if you don't try to left brain just figure it out, but trust your instincts, trust your intuition, and trust the universe to bring you to the places that you need to be brought in order to make your decisions. So I'm just looking at what everybody's chatting about. So Pluto now, it's another important thing that's going on. The Pluto went into Aquarius earlier this year, and it's going to go back into Aquarius at the end of this year. It was back into Capricorn a little bit at the end of 2024, but for all practical purposes, after it goes back into Aquarius in the next couple of months, It's going to pretty much be staying in Aquarius for like 20 years. So people that have planets at the early degrees of fixed signs will be very affected, transformationally speaking, by Pluto going in Aquarius. I'll give you an example. Someone we know, Joe Biden. Joe Biden has his moon at between 0 and 1 degree of Taurus. So Pluto's going to come along there and have a powerful effect on his moon in Taurus. What does that mean? Well, moon in Taurus is a place of like real comfort, like wanting comfort, feeling comfort. With Pluto coming along, feeling comfortable is not going to be what he feels. This already happened because the first pass happened earlier this year. So, he's already not going to feel comfortable. And, moon in Taurus is also very stubborn. So whatever stubbornness that he's got that needs to be let go of, it will be let go of. So that's just one example. But remember, if you have anything in the very early degrees, like 0 to 3 degrees of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you'll be affected. Now, you'll also be affected from another place. This second eclipse that's coming up is at 5 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio, which I started to talk about before. So if you've got anything in the early degrees, again, of fixed signs, you will be a big part of the transformation that's here. Then, at the end of this year, end of December, Jupiter goes from retrograde to direct at 5 degrees of Taurus. So do you see how it's playing out? Early degrees of fixed signs, there's a lot of energy, a lot of action that's moving toward those signs. So not only your sun, but your moon and your other planets, if they are in the early degrees of fixed signs, you're going to be fortunate to be evolving, to be transforming, to be moving into new territory. So that's what you have to look forward to. So these last couple of months are going to be powerful. They're going to be very powerful. So if you're in a place inside yourself where you're saying, something, I want to grow, I want to change, I want to transform, you're in the right place, because that's what's happening. It's not doom and gloom. It's not, oh my God, these horrible things are happening to me. It's more like I'm being pushed out of stuck places so that I can evolve and I can grow. And next year we'll have a lot going on, with a lot of the focus like on April 8th. Because on April 8th, there'll be a total solar eclipse at 19 plus degrees of Aries. And it'll be a total solar eclipse. And it's going to travel across the United States, starting in the Southwest and then moving all the way up to Maine. The last time we had a total solar eclipse that came across the United States exclusively was in 2017, August. We're going to bring Deborah on real soon, everybody. Let me just get through this part here. So this will be another total solar eclipse moving across the United States. Now, remember, if you look back in 2017, we had the, in Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia, we had the white supremacists wanting to take down, or wanting to fight a statue being taken down, a Confederate statue. Then it brought out people on both sides. And a woman got run over by a car during that time. And the other thing going on was North Korea with Donald Trump in August. Let me speak on that. I've been letting you know about the Israel thing for a long time. And then, it's happening. I want to let you know that North Korea's chart is being triggered now at this second eclipse, and then a lot next year. So something should be stirring in that region also. So yeah, that'll be on April 8th. Actually, 2 eclipses in a row, one on the 25th of March, 2024, and one on April 8th. Then on April 20th, Jupiter will conjunct Uranus in Taurus at 21 degrees of Taurus. And the last time that happened was like 1941, the year that the United States went to war. But that's going to be an important combination, Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus. If you've got anything, again, fixed signs are getting a lot of action. If you got anything in fixed signs, like between 18 degrees of a fixed sign and about 23, you'll be affected by that Jupiter conjunct Uranus. The United States moon is affected by it. The United States moon is in Aquarius, and so that Jupiter conjunct Uranus will be square the United States moon. So there'll be some transformations around that part of what we are as Americans. It's like the moon is like your inner values and your inner instincts. And a lot of what the United States wrote in its Constitution is very Aquarian. Diversity within unity, we the people, equality. That's what that moon in Aquarius is about. And it's going to be transforming with Uranus square it and Jupiter conjunct Uranus square it. What that's going to mean is, like a lot of times when there's transformation, what it means is that you're broadening your viewpoint. So all those Aquarian principles that were to apply to the United States, the equality, diversity, now they're meant to be on a bigger scale, like the world. Look at it as not just our little American family, but the family of the world needs to have those kind of values. And since we are into the age of Aquarius, it's a perfect time to move into those kind of values. So there we go. I think I've talked enough today. I think it's time for Deborah to talk. Deborah, do you feel ready to come out here? Okay, good. I know Deborah's going to be talking about Samhain too, which is Halloween, quite a bit. That'll be good. So here she comes. Hi, Deb.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. So I just wanted to point out that Yvonne earlier asked a question about is the ring of fire in the lunar, she wanted to know about the lunar eclipse and the ring of fire. I don't know what that is exactly. Do you?
Yeah, kind of. It's like I think what she means is that when you see the annular eclipse, you see the fire around the edges of the eclipse. The only other time that I ever hear about the ring of fire is when they talk about earthquakes in that part of the world that connects with the Pacific Ocean. That's the two ways that I know. Hopefully that's what you meant, and I answered it. If not,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good.
Anything else, Deb, before I go?
Oh, no, no, that's good.
Okay.
I'm ready. Thank you. Hey everyone. Oh, I just accidentally hit that, but not accidentally. So I just wanted to play this bowl to start us off, to just bring our awareness into our hearts for a moment. With all that Leo just shared, there's so much going on in the world and in our own psyches. And it's so important to have these moments of sinking inward, sinking into our hearts and our souls during this time. And to feel our connection with Mother Earth and Divine Source, because those are our guiding lights during these times. So I'm just going to say a couple of things following up on some of what Leo just shared that were occurring to me. So it's so important to remember during this time that, as Leo said, we are all part of the same human family. And in the Aquarian age, community is going to be really important. And if you look at the word community, it has within it common unity. And these are the times on the earth where we're going to need to be aware and connected to our common unity. not just our common unity, but also our unique individuality and our own voices, our own puzzle piece, because we each have our own puzzle piece as part of the larger whole. And we are all connected to the same source of creation. We all came from that same source of creation. How can we come together as a human family to solve the issues of the world? So that's going to come from our finding our common unity, coming together and finding those places where we can meet halfway or meet and find peace and honoring each other. So I just wanted to share, I just wanted to say that. And I saw this, there's this musician, her name's Snow Raven from Siberia. She's going to be in Sedona in a couple of weeks. I heard she might even live here now. I'm not sure, but anyway, she had this song called "The Web of Life," and I listened to it. It was very striking to me because the new consciousness now is, the quantum field, the web of life, that unified field, that we're all connected in this unified field, in this interconnectedness of all life. And if you look at some of the ancient creation stories of like the indigenous people and Native Americans, grandmother spider, she weaves the tapestry of all life together into this big web of creation. And in this music video I saw, it was all about how since we are connected and interconnected in this web of creation, in this web of life, when one of us suffers, we all do. When one of us does harm to the earth, to each other, we are harming not only ourselves, but all life forms and all beings. And that just really struck me as, and it's something I've thought about before, but it's so important to remember through it all that we are truly interconnected with each other. And it's been proven now about the unified quantum field that we are not all separate. And we're certainly not separate from God, Goddess, Source, and the earth. The earth and mother's body and our bodies were connected. So I just wanted to put that out there into this discussion and this consciousness here. And then just bring us into where we're at now, not only between the two eclipses today, but also in the cycle of Venus, we're between the second gateway of the third eye and the throat chakra. On Monday, we'll be right halfway through that gateway. So those of you that have heard this show before know that I have been working with the cycle of Venus for the last 5 years in a ceremonial group and also guiding people through it myself. And it's very powerful to really tune into this gateway, the gateways of Venus. So right now we're in the third eye chakra gateway, and the larger goddess overlighting energy is Leo, which is all about coming into our sovereignty, reclaiming our sovereignty, learning self-love, self-acceptance, self-value, self-worth. So this whole Venus cycle, which is going all the way till March 2025, from this perspective of Venus, is about, clearing out all our old energies that keep us from deep self-love and our own sovereignty. And right now on our planet, I think that's one of the things we need, is to reclaim our sovereignty, because we have felt for, lifetimes, there's been lifetimes of oppression of different peoples. The divine feminine, the feminine has been oppressed under the patriarchy for, 5,000 years. And we don't want to have any archies anymore, because we want to have, live in this Aquarian golden age of equality, and where there is not an oppressor, and where each being has their divine sovereignty intact, and everyone has that right to their sovereignty. So this cycle of Venus till March 2025 is very significant in helping us move more into that place of divine sovereignty. So this gate right now is Inanna is on the descent, moving down through the chakra gateways towards the underworld right now in the cycle of Venus, connected with Inanna. Venus and Inanna are the same energy. And so Inanna is taking her descent as the waning crescent moon and Venus join together each month. That is a gateway. So we're right between the third eye gateway and the throat gateway right now. So what does that mean? It means that this is a time to really cleanse and clear your third eye, because it's a descent, which is when Inanna relinquishes her old energies. And hi, Judy Ann and everyone here. So she relinquishes her old forms of seeing, and actually it's our old belief systems, our old stories, and any messages we have gotten from this life or any other lifetimes about trusting our inner knowing, our instincts, our intuition, especially our clairvoyance, our ability to see visions and have visions, and how many of us have had our visions discounted, or maybe in a past life we had a vision, or this life we had a vision that wasn't easy to see the vision, and so we closed our third eye down. So this is the time right now in this gateway until November 9th, when we have the throat chakra gateway, is to really look at what are the old stories, the old beliefs around my inner knowing, my guidance, my intuition, my ability to see. And also, since it's Leo, what are my old stories I've been telling myself or believing about myself for eons of time? Like, I can't really see. I can't trust my intuition. I'm not valuable enough to be in this world. I don't belong. I don't have a place. All these old stories that we tell ourselves that come from our mind have the opportunity to be cleansed and cleared right now. And especially in this eclipse portal gateway, when the energies are so powerful, it's really a great time to do ceremonies, do lots of meditation, prayers. I've been doing a lot more meditation than usual these days, and doing release ceremonies, writing things down that I'm letting go of, old stories that I don't want to carry with me anymore. Because the other side of this gateway and the new is opening, clearing the old so that we can see a new vision. We can't see that new vision if it's clouded or veiled with all these old stories and beliefs and memories. So it's this time now, the sacred time, to clear that so we can receive the new vision for our new life, our new life on planet Earth, in the new Earth, and also our new chapter of life in our personal lives. And as Leo and I've been talking about, this is that time right now. And the next eclipse is going to be taking us even more into our new chapter, our new phase of life. So what are your visions? So I just invite everyone to just start going inside and into your third eye, journey into your third eye, and really ask to be shown your new visions. And right now is 1:44 p.m. here, Pacific time, which is that sacred number, that 144,000 beings that are needed to transform the world, us moving into that higher state of consciousness of love. You could call it Christ, Buddhic consciousness, Magdalene consciousness, that consciousness of love. And I'm just reminded of that with the 144. Noticing those synchronistic moments when we look at the clock and we see those magical master numbers to remind us of the sacred moment we're in each moment. So I just wanted to say that. And if I have time, I'm going to have us go into our third eye and just receive a little vision for our new chapter of life. And I encourage you to create a vision board, write in your journals your new visions, do a painting, do a dance, whatever, to really bring in that new energy and to receive for sure the vision. I'm starting to work on a vision board, like a kind of more of a painting of the new. And you can even bring in your future self. What is your vision of your future self in the new earth? And as we move through this transition on the earth, what is your vision of yourself through when you've gone through all these changes? And we've all gone through these changes. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is we're getting close to the cross quarter day, which is and it's not quite yet because it'll be I'm going to say it's going to be the 28th or 9th through November 7th, which is November 7th is the exact midpoint, astrologically speaking, between the fall autumn equinox, or the equinox, spring equinox in the southern hemisphere, and the winter solstice or the summer solstice, based on where you live. So right here in the northern hemisphere, November 7th is the astrological midpoint between fall equinox and winter solstice. So it's a sacred turning point to be aware of. And I have always felt that the cross quarter days, which are the midpoints between the equinoxes and solstices, are more mysterious and mystical, that you kind of have to feel and look deeper to feel the energies. But this one is one that's celebrated all over the world in so many cultures. It's the sacred midpoint is also known as Samhain to the Celtic people. It's also in so many cultures. I'm gonna read, or not read to you, but share with you the different cultures. I just wrote them down so I didn't forget. But so we have, Halloween in the Western culture, and it all goes back to the honoring of our ancestors. And this time of year of Samhain, the 28th, 29th of October through the 7th of November and beyond and before, the veils between the worlds is thinning, which means, what does that mean? That means that our psychic perceptions are opening up. The veils are being lifted. It's easier to see into the other realms, to feel and see and sense the spirits of those that have passed, and other beings, and nature spirits, other spirits, because the veils are lifted. So in alignment with this third eye gateway of Venus, of our being able to see into other realms. So in so many cultures, there's this time of, there's in Mexico, it's the feast is called El Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. So around, this period of time, it's the Days of the Dead. It's the Aztec Day of the Dead. In ancient Egypt, it's the time of honoring when Set dismembered Osiris and Isis started the healing, finding his parts. And it's also the feast of honoring the descent of Inanna, Ishtar, Astarte in the ancient Sumerian times. In the Greek, this time was honoring that Persephone had reached the underworld, and then she was becoming queen of the underworld. And also, it's also All Saints Day and All Souls Day on the 1st and 2nd of November. So all these traditions have this as a very potent time. And even in the Buddhist tradition, those of you that have been having a discussion about the Buddhists and Tara and everything. So November 4th in the Buddhist tradition is the festival of Tara, because she was the guide that guided souls to the pure land, which is that place of, I think, nirvana, enlightenment. So as you can feel, this time we're approaching through the eclipse portal, through the full moon next week on the 28th, and then through the cross quarter day is very potent. And it's a time to really remember our ancestors, all our loved ones that have crossed over, whether it be a beloved pet, a friend, a teacher, whoever has been really dear to your heart that has crossed over. It's a time to really honor them. And especially those that have passed recently, because they'll be closer, their consciousness and their energies. So it is a wonderful time to create an altar to honor your ancestors and your loved ones that have crossed over, putting pictures, symbols, maybe objects you might have of theirs, and like really creating this beautiful altar. I have an ancestor altar that I keep there all year round, and then I energize it at this time and sit there, and I have some sacred objects from my ancestors going pretty far, well, not that far back, but a couple generations back. I have on that altar. I'm pretty much mostly all Celtic Druid, so I have an emblem of the Celtic tree of life on my altar, and little symbols from my ancestry, and of course, photos of my beloved ancestors. And so create a beautiful altar. And it's also the third harvest of the year is at Halloween, right? Where all the gourds and the pumpkins. So it's also a time to honor that harvest. But it's also the darkening time. We're going deeper into the autumn season. There's going to be all those energies in Scorpio, right? And I know Mars is in Scorpio now. Venus won't be in Scorpio for a while, but there's going to be a lot of descent energies. And all those festivals that I named off, also the festival in Wales was the Festival of Ceridwen, which is the goddess of the cauldron. So it's a time of deepening, really connecting on a soul level with ourselves, with each other, going deep, looking beyond our ordinary reality into the other realms, connecting with our ancestors in the other worlds, and you can also do ceremonies where you actually call forth, and it's not as hard as people think to actually call forth and connect with your loved ones and ancestors. Maybe they'll come to you in your dreams more right now too, but you can actually do a ceremony and ask for the veils to be lifted and ask for your beloved ancestor to come forth to bring you a message. And if you close your eyes, you can look through your third eye, through your inner eye, and just ask them to reveal themselves to you, to bring you a message. They might physically bring you a message too. A bird might fly up, or something might rustle, or there's different ways we can receive those messages from our ancestors and our loved ones. Or I have often just seen them come to me in my inner eye and bring a message. So give yourself time to really connect as much as you can with them. So I'm going to end my part today with a little meditation to bring us into our third eyes and to lift the veils over our third eyes, to help us release the old stories, lift the veils, and to see new vision. So just take a moment to breathe into your heart center. And just feel the energy of Mother Earth as you breathe into your heart. And just bring your heart into resonance, the heart of Mother Earth, the heart of our planet. And then begin to bring your heart into resonance with universal source, with God, Goddess, source of all that is. Feeling your heart as the center between the earth and the universe, the heavens. Feeling yourself rooted and grounded to Mother Earth, and also connected with all that is. You can feel the unified field around you that I was talking about earlier, that great web of life, feeling us all connected in that web, feeling ourselves right at the midpoint between the two eclipses today, near the midpoint in the Venus gateway of the third eye, and approaching the cross quarter day. And just feel now, bring your energy and your awareness into your third eye. And as I do that, I feel my third eye awakening. And we're going to ask now that the veils lift now in our third eyes, that we may release the old stories about ourselves that do not serve us anymore. And just feel yourself releasing the old stories that no longer resonate, that no longer support the new you in the new chapter of your life. Just feel yourself letting those go, releasing as the veils clear from your third eye, to help you to connect with your ancestors and loved ones over the next couple weeks and through these powerful portals right now. And just feeling the veils and the old energies leaving your third eye, and just focusing in your third eye, your inner eye, and just allow yourself to be shown a vision of the new chapter of your life, of the new you that's birthing, that's ready to birth soon, or that's in the process of birthing, or in the process of coming out of a chrysalis. Or perhaps you're in the middle of a metamorphosis. But just see if you can get glimpses, just a glimpse of this new you, the new you in the new earth, and in this new chapter of your life. See yourself coming into your sovereignty. See yourself honoring yourself deeply, with deep self-love and a sense of belonging, knowing that you're part of the common unity, the human family, part of the great web of life and all creation. And just feel that, and anything else you see for your new chapter of life. And just honoring this deeply. And I encourage you, since it's almost the end of our show, to do this meditation where you quiet yourself and you receive the new vision. And you also ask the veils to be lifted, to receive messages from the spirit realms, from your loved ones, and from your own higher self. And
That's very
yes,
lovely.
and I just want to say, if anyone wants to join me for a Venus ceremony, every month at the Venus Gateways, I do a ceremony, and you're all invited to attend. You can find out on my website at Gaia Sophia, templeoftheheart.com, under Mystery School. It will talk about the gateways, and you can reach me at Elilia, E-L-I-A, at Gaia Sophia, templeoftheheart.com. And Leo, at his website, leoknightontallarico.com, and solus@aol.com.
And I think we may come on again next Saturday. There's a decent chance we'll come on again next Saturday, because the week after that, which is usually every other week, Deb, we'll be gone on November 3rd, which is the next one. So there's a good chance we'll come on next week, everybody. Take care. We love you all. Stay strong. Stay strong during this time. You can do it. Stay strong and loving. Take care. Bye,
Yes.
everybody.
Thanks so much, everyone. Many blessings.